just to understand, the process. But everybody feels different. So, to get started, my parents separated when I was like 11 years old. Honestly, it's been a process. Like, first I'm gonna start with how it felt as a kid and then how it feels now. When I was younger, I mean, I had to grow up pretty fast, especially when they separated, to go from seeing your family together and happy and, just as one, and then to see your parents are constantly arguing and seeing my dad get kicked out from time to time and my mom throwing his stuff out. It was just like, it didn't feel real. Like, it was just one of those things where it's like, as a kid, you're like, oh, I have this life, no worries, no nothing. And then to see your parents going head to head like they're enemies, it's like, damn, like, what happened? Um, the more I started to see them arguing, the more it just had an effect, because in a way I started to resent my mom, because I'm like, why are you being so mean, to my dad? Like, from a kid's perspective, but obviously it's a lot deeper than what it looks like. When you're a kid, you don't know. But um honestly, that's when I first started to really get into feeling depressed. Um Once they split, it was just like, where we were staying at, me and my mom and my sibling, like, she got evicted, so we ended up going to a whole different state where her family was at. And around this time, we had no contact with her dad at all. Like, I guess she was just like, I'm leaving, I don't want nothing to do with him, which I could understand now. But so basically, they were married. They had some issues in their relationship. My dad ended up having a child with another woman, but um, it sounds terrible, right? I pretty much got both sides to both of their stories, but at the end, the one that matters the most is the truth. So at that time, like, I just remember playing toys with my brother, and then my mom walks in and she's like, I got something to tell y'all. Keep in mind, I was like 10 or 9 around this time, I think. And she's like, yeah, your dad is having a kid. And all I remember was like crying, because I'm like, what? Like, my dad was in the military, so a lot of times he was gone or overseas or whatever. So I'm like, what do you, in my head, I'm like, what do you mean? I started crying, because from like being a kid, hearing that, you're instantly gonna think like, damn, he doesn't love us no more. Like, he's starting a new family. But my mom reassured us that he does love us and always will. But I guess I never fully processed that until I actually seen like pictures of my little brother, and it was just like, whoa, like, he really did have a kid. And also witnessing my mom having her own place and then my dad having his own place, it was just like wow, they're really done, you know. But once we went to a different state, like I said, we didn't have no contact at all. Um, so he didn't even know where we were or anything, but somehow, some way, we found an email. We emailed him, exchanged numbers, and that's if it wasn't for that, to this day we would have never spoke. Um, honestly, dealing with parents separating, it does hurt. I cannot lie, it does hurt, especially when it's fresh. Like, you don't know what emotions to feel: angry, sad, confused, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, our parents only want to show us a certain side. They don't want us to see the bad side where they're arguing and they're frustrated, and so it's like you never really know what's going on in somebody's relationship. So when I look back at that, I'm like, wow, like I would have never known that it was issues until obviously seeing the signs with him, my dad getting kicked out and stuff like that. But um I'm not gonna lie, I am a daddy's girl, so it was like I was heartbroken. I'm like, wow, because I always had a good relationship with my dad. Like, he never did no wrong to me, so I don't really have nothing against him. Like, yeah, obviously having a child is like, whoa, but he explained everything from his end, not saying that that justifies how it happened. It doesn't make it right regardless, because y'all were legally married, but at the same time, like, if y'all moved on and y'all just didn't officially through papers, moved on, that's, a little different. But yeah, so we got in contact, and our relationship has just been long distance on the phone. Like, it's coming up on 18 years since I haven't seen my dad, and I'm not gonna lie, I used to miss my dad a lot. Like, especially when I was a kid, I would like cry my heart out. Just, that's all that was on my mind. So it drove me into a deep depression, like, on top of everything that was happening at that time. I will say that with time, I'm not gonna say it gets easier, but when you have a lot of things happening to you in your life, some things tend to get pushed further in the back of your mind. So it's like, I don't know, I guess I was just like, I can't sit here and cry missing my dad. Like, I mean, I still have contact, I can talk to him, but of course that is not the same. The last time I seen him, I was 11 years old. I'm about to be 30 this month in February, on the 21st of 2026. I'm 29. Y'all do the math. It's been over, like I said, 18 years, which is well over most of my life. And at the end of the day, we all deserve to have both of our parents in our lives. We deserve to have relationships with our parents that the love is unconditional, the support is just unlimited. But it does not work out like that for everybody, unfortunately. sometimes there's people that don't have any parents, in their life, or they have one or the other or both. But I'm grateful to be able to have experienced a house with a family, you know, up until a certain point, of course. Um, so it just, the main thing for me was just missing being around my dad and feeling like I got taken away from him, if that makes sense. But fast forward into like my teenage years, I still found myself, you know, missing my dad, crying. Um, Over time, I just stopped thinking about it. And, like I had school, I had friends, I had so many other things to cloud my mind, not to mention relationships eventually. So it was like, but of course, always in my heart, I'm like, damn, I just see the years going by, and it's like, what's happening? I don't feel at the end of the day on my end, my older siblings end, and on my parents end, I feel like there's no excuse that 18 years went by. Because if we really wanted it to really happen, whether we weren't even in a financial space, we still would have found a way, regardless. So I feel like all of us could take accountability, because I had jobs within a certain time frame, but it was so hard to save, and I wasn't making that much money. But that's still an excuse, because there's people who may not make as much and still be able to get a car, to be able to get certain things. So it's all about prioritizing and being resourceful with your money. So I always have that in the back of my head, like, there's no way 18 years just passed. Um, I always just have the thought of, like, what if I never get to see my dad? What if that time comes for either one of us and we're no longer here, and we have to pretty much live with the fact that we never got to see each other again. And that's what really hurts. It really hurts deeply, and I just pray one day that I'm able to make that happen. 'Cause it needs to happen. You know what I mean? It's way overdue. Um, it's just a lot. Like, I really should have wrote down certain pointers, but I kind of just am talking as I go. Um, but for anybody out there dealing with your parents separating, be strong. I know this sounds cliche, but be strong. Put your faith in God. Pray, 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 pray. Take it one day at a time. Never, never blame yourself for your parents not being together. It's not your fault. People do come to terms of growing apart from each other. It happens. And it's gonna be hard. I cannot lie, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a process. You might grow resentment, anger, confusion, frustration, but it's all a part of being a human. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel confused, to feel whatever. But just know, even the worst of the worst, it all happens for a reason. end of the day, God will never put anything in your life that He feels like you cannot handle. And I really had to learn the hard way because not too many people can accept a lot of things I've been through in my life. Some people can understand, but like it takes a lot of time, strength to get through those dark days, like for real. Um, but yeah, just know that your parents are doing what's best for them, and that's all that should matter. We may not like the outcome of their decisions, but if it means that they can get peace or some type of happiness from removing themselves from a situation they feel just isn't providing and giving them what they need, then as an adult, I'm just speaking as an adult now, it's just like, let them do what they gotta do. Because you gotta think about it from your shoes. If you were with somebody and you had a family and you and your significant other just, y'all not seeing eye to eye no more, things just aren't the same, and y'all mutually want to go separate ways. Now it's different when one person wants to leave and the other person is willing to fight and stay, but sometimes you fight enough to where it's like, what am I fighting for? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously you could fight for keeping the image of having a family, but y'all gonna always be family regardless through blood, so it's like, I just had to learn that life does go on. People do grow apart. People do fall out of love, whether it's from people you love the most. So it took a lot of patience, a lot of time to get where I'm at mentally right now with that. Yes, I'm 29, and I could say sometimes I do think about missing my dad, and it kind of does get me a bit teary-eyed, but at the same time, it's just like, this is my reality. What can I do? I can sit here and cry about it all day, or be grateful that I at least have my dad in my life, even if it's just talking on the phone, sending a text. That's better than not having him in my life at all. But yeah, it's definitely difficult. Anybody that tells you it gets easier over time, I feel like it's a lie. Like, it never gets easier. It just isn't on your mind as much as it was, But it's always that thought will always be there, but it won't be the first thing that comes to mind every day, all day, because that's how it was at first. But y'all just pray. Eventually, it's gonna be okay, whether you never accept it or not. This is the reality that now we have to face and accept. We don't have a choice. I mean, you could not accept it and be miserable, depressed, crying, Please don't do that to yourself. Just with the time, accept that, what? It's okay. I love my parents. together or not. You know what I mean? But I want to do a way more detailed, in-depth video about this, but I just wanted to share a little bit of experience. But like I said, you guys, I'm always here. If you guys want me to make a video about a certain topic or situation or um anything that's obviously not too crazy, I will. Um, but yes, be strong. Take it one day at a time, please. Please, please, please. And if you're spiritual, pray. I promise if you pray, it will help you. It may not help you like that. Like, these things take years and even your whole life to really come to terms fully with everything. But praying will help you get through each step little by little to where it gets you to the point where I'm at, to where it doesn't phase you. And another thing I'm gonna say is once I see my parents move on and they have a new significant other, that's when it really was like, yeah, they're done. Like, yeah. But again, they have to move on and have a life as well. They can't just, okay, we separated now. They're alone forever. Like, no, we all need love and companionship and, so forth. So, if your parents end up with somebody else, please, please, please do not resent them and never. I used to have this feeling like, oh, this dude my mom's dating will never replace my dad. I mean, obviously, but like, please, that was a very childish mindset. Don't have that. Do not grow resentment for seeing your parents move on and do what they feel is best for them. Okay, y'all. I hope this video was helpful, and I love you guys. And until the next time. Until next time.